I want you to stop what you are doing and look at your lower legs. Right now, pull up your pant leg or take off your socks. I want you to look specifically at your shins and the tops of your toes. Do they look unusually smooth? Do they have a strange, polished quality to them, almost like the skin has been pulled too tight? It is not a healthy glow. It looks like tight plastic wrap stretched over the bone. You might have noticed that you stopped needing to shave your legs years ago, or that the hair on your big toe, which used to be there, has completely vanished. It is as if the forest has been cleared, leaving only bare, shiny ground. Then there is the feeling. You know exactly the sensation I am talking about. It isn't just a cramp. It is a deep, suffocating heaviness in your calves that grabs you when you try to walk up a hill or even just down the driveway to get the mail. It forces you to stop. You freeze, pretending to look at a tree or check your watch, waiting for the blood to catch up. The pain vanishes when you rest, but the second you start moving again, it returns with clockwork precision. Most seniors, and tragically even many well-meaning doctors, dismiss this collection of signs as normal aging. You go to the dermatologist, and they tell you it is simply dry skin or senile alopecia. They might tell you to drink more water. You might be standing in the pharmacy aisle right now buying expensive, thick lotions to try and hydrate that shiny skin, hoping it will soften up. Or perhaps you have just accepted the hair loss as a convenient side effect of getting older, thinking, well, at least I don't have to shave anymore. But you are being misled. You are treating the surface, but the starvation is happening underneath. That shininess is not hydration, it is atrophy. It is the biological equivalent of a ghost town. Your skin cells are dying and your hair follicles are suffocating because the blood flow that feeds them has been slowly, methodically shut off. Your body is rationing its resources and your skin is the first thing to be cut from the budget. We are going to prove that this shiny shin sign is not a cosmetic issue. It is a screaming red flag for peripheral artery disease, or PAD, but the cause is not just clogged pipes or bad luck. It is being driven by a specific villain, a stealthy saboteur hidden in your diet called fructose, that is currently stripping the protective lining off your arteries and inviting bacteria from your gut to launch a direct attack on your heart. This is not about dry skin. This is about saving your limbs. To understand why your legs are slowly suffocating, we have to look deeper than the skin. We have to shrink down to the microscopic level and look at the interior walls of your arteries. For decades, you have been told that your arteries are like simple plumbing pipes, smooth tubes that just get clogged up with grease if you eat too much bacon. That is a massive oversimplification, and it is wrong. In a healthy body, the inside of your artery is not a bare pipe. It is lined with a microscopic protective fur coat called the endothelial glycocalyx. I want you to visualize this clearly. Imagine the inside of your artery is lined with a thick, wet shag carpet. In its healthy state, this carpet is incredibly slippery. It acts exactly like the non-stick coating on a high-end Teflon pan. It is negatively charged, which means it repels blood cells, ensuring they slide right past the wall without ever touching it. It is a sanctuary. It protects the delicate artery wall from friction, inflammation, and damage. But here is where the villain enters your story. When you consume excess sugar, and specifically, when you consume fructose found in processed foods and sweeteners, it triggers a biological alarm. Your body releases a specific enzyme called heparinase. Think of heparinase as a chemical lawnmower. Or better yet, think of it as a razor blade. When this enzyme is released, it physically shears and shaves that protective shag carpet right off the artery wall. It doesn't take years. Studies using microscopic cameras inside blood vessels show that a single spike in high blood sugar can strip this protective layer by 50% in a matter of minutes to hours. Now imagine that damage. The Teflon coating is gone. The shag carpet has been shaved down to the bare, raw floorboards. The artery wall transforms from a soft, slippery surface into something sticky, red, and inflamed. This is a disaster for your circulation. Because that non-stick layer is destroyed, things that should slide by suddenly start to stick. This is where the great confusion about cholesterol comes from. You have been taught to fear cholesterol, but you are blaming the firefighter for the fire. When the protective coat is stripped away, micro tears or gaps appear between the cells of your artery wall. Your body panics. It rushes cholesterol, LDL, to the scene to patch those cracks. Exactly like using spackle to fill a hole in a drywall. The cholesterol is just the patch. The sugar was the hammer that smashed the wall in the first place. The cholesterol gets trapped in the sticky, inflamed mess, not because it is evil, but because the road it was traveling on was destroyed. But the damage doesn't stop at sticky walls. If you ignore this shiny Shin warning, the starvation moves inward and changes the very structure of the vessel. Over time, as the inflammation becomes chronic, your arteries begin to calcify. This is a hardening process. Your blood vessels turn from flexible, elastic garden hoses that can pulse and expand with every heartbeat into brittle, rigid rock pipes. They lose the ability to dilate. They cannot widen to let more blood through when you try to walk up that hill. This is the silent progression towards a condition known as critical limb ischemia. It is not just about pain, it is about tissue death. The statistics are terrifying, and I share them not to scare you, but to wake you up. The mortality risk for symptomatic peripheral artery disease is over 50% within 5 years. That is a prognosis worse than many aggressive cancers. The science is undeniable. Research indicates that nearly 18% of people over 70 have this condition, yet it remains massively underdiagnosed. You are walking around with arteries that are being stripped bare and turned to stone, all while thinking you just have dry skin. But the question remains, why is sugar doing this damage to you, specifically? Even if your doctor says your blood sugar is normal and you don't have diabetes, this process is still happening. The answer lies in a hidden toxic connection between your stomach and your heart that almost no one is talking about. So here is the million-dollar question that stumps almost everyone. Why is sugar destroying your arteries and stripping that protective coating? Even if your doctor looks at your chart and says, "Good news, you don't have diabetes," you might be sitting there thinking, "My blood sugar is normal, so this doesn't apply to me." That assumption is the trap. The destruction of your arteries is not just about how much sugar is floating in your blood, it is about what that sugar is doing to your stomach. The answer lies in a hidden biological link that connects your digestive system directly to your cardiovascular system. It is called the gut-vascular axis. The reality is that your sugar habit, specifically the consumption of fructose, is doing something far more sinister than just adding calories. It is physically punching holes in the lining of your intestines. Let's trace this domino effect, step by step, because this is the mechanism that turns a sweet treat into a heart attack. It starts in the gut. Your intestinal wall is an engineering marvel. It is designed to be a fortress. It is held together by something called tight junctions. I want you to think of these tight junctions as the grout between the tiles of a bathroom wall. This grout is the only thing standing between the contents of your bowel and your pristine bloodstream. When you consume excess fructose, it generates massive oxidative stress in the gut environment. This chemical stress literally dissolves the grout. It breaks the seal. This is the condition you have heard of called leaky gut, or increased intestinal permeability. Once that seal is broken, the disaster spreads. A specific bacterial toxin called lipopolysaccharide, or LPs, slips through the cracks. Now, you need to understand what LPS is. It is part of the cell wall of bacteria. As long as it stays inside your colon, it is harmless. It belongs in the sewer pipe of your digestion. But because the fructose has dissolved the grout, this toxin leaks out of the sewer pipe and drips directly into your clean water supply, your systemic blood circulation. This is the silent killer. This LPS toxin creates a toxic payload that travels through your bloodstream until it hits those stripped, vulnerable artery walls in your legs. When it arrives, it binds to a specific receptor on your blood vessel cells called toll-like receptor 4, or TLR4. This is a biological panic button. When LPS hits that button, your body thinks it is under a massive bacterial invasion. It triggers a cytokine storm, an explosion of inflammation. Your immune system attacks the artery wall to save you. This forces the artery to swell, stiffen, and trap plaque. It turns the vessel wall into a war zone. So you see, the blockage in your leg isn't just grease, it is the fallout from an immune battle triggered by a leaky gut. This brings us to the most dangerous myth in modern health, one that I need to debunk right now if we are going to save your independence. The myth is, I am not overweight, so my arteries are fine. You look in the mirror, and you don't see a belly. You see a thin frame. You think you are safe. But the research has identified a specific body phenotype called TOFI. Thin outside, fat inside. You can be slender on the outside, but because of a diet high in fructose and processed carbs, you have high amounts of visceral fat hidden deep inside your torso. This is not the squishy fat you can pinch on your waist. This is hard, metabolic fat packed tightly around your liver, pancreas, and intestines. This hidden fat is not inert storage, it is an active organ. It pumps inflammation and clotting factors into your arteries just as aggressively as obesity does. It is why we see skinny seniors suffering from heart attacks and severe circulation loss. You cannot see the damage in the mirror, but your arteries can feel the burn. The fructose is destroying the gut barrier, the toxins are leaking in, and the visceral fat is fueling the fire, all while you look healthy on the outside. We have identified the villain, and we have mapped the crime scene. We know the pipes are stripped, the gut is leaking, and the sewer is poisoning the blood. Now we need to stop the damage and reverse it. We need a protocol that works. Part 4, the protocol and recovery. So, how do we stop this silent suffocation? How do we turn off the inflammation, rebuild that protective Teflon coating, and restore the flow of life to your legs? We need a protocol that works on two fronts. We must change the chemistry of your blood, and we must change the mechanics of your movement. We are going to stop the damage, and then we are going to rebuild the infrastructure. It starts with a non-negotiable command. This is the stop list. You must strictly eliminate added sugars and high fructose corn syrup from your diet, immediately. I am not telling you this so you can fit into your high school jeans or look good at the beach. That is vanity. I am telling you this to take the razor blade away from your artery walls. Every time you eat that sweet pastry or drink that soda, you are releasing the enzymes that shave away your protection. But here is the incredible news. Your body is resilient. It wants to heal. Research shows that once you remove the insult, once you stop the constant bombardment of fructose, that protective endothelial glycocalyx layer can begin to regenerate. It can start to thicken and repair itself in as little as 4 to 7 days. You don't have to wait years for results. The repair crew starts working the moment the bombing stops. Now that we have stopped the destruction, we need to send in the supply trucks. We need to add the hero solutions to speed up the repair and clear out the debris. First, you need the traffic cop for calcium. This is vitamin K2, specifically in the form of menaquinone 7. Here is the problem you are facing. As you age, calcium gets confused. It stops going to your bones, where it makes them strong, and starts settling in your soft tissues, specifically your arteries, where it turns them into cement. This is the calcium paradox. You have brittle bones and rock-hard arteries. Vitamin K2 is the solution. It activates a specific protein called matrix GLA protein, or MGP. Think of MGP as a shuttle bus. It picks up that wayward calcium from your arteries and physically moves it out of your soft tissues and deposits it into your skeleton where it belongs. You are cleaning the pipes and strengthening the frame at the same time. You want to aim for a dosage of 180 to 360 micrograms daily. And remember, it is fat-soluble, so you must take it with a meal containing fat, or it will pass right through you. Second, we need the endothelial rescuer. This is aged garlic extract. Please note, I am not talking about raw garlic or garlic powder. This is a specific aged supplement. Unlike fresh garlic, aged garlic extract has been clinically shown to reverse the sticky vessel wall. But more importantly, it targets low attenuation plaque. This is the soft, unstable plaque that is most likely to rupture and cause a blockage. It helps stabilize the vessel wall. You are looking for a high-potency dosage between 1,200 and 2,400 milligrams daily. Third, we need a backup generator. We need beetroot juice. Your damaged arteries are struggling to produce nitric oxide, the gas that signals them to relax and open up. Because the lining is stripped, the factory is broken. Beets provide a backdoor source of dietary nitrates. Your body converts these directly into nitric oxide, bypassing the damaged factory. This forces those stiff, calcified pipes to relax and dilate, allowing oxygen-rich blood to finally squeeze through to your toes again. Finally, we need to address the movement itself. We need to retrain your arteries with a simple, powerful habit I call the walk-to-pain protocol. This is going to feel counterintuitive. Your instinct when you feel that cramping in your calves is to stop moving immediately and avoid the pain. I want you to do the opposite. I want you to walk until that leg pain, that claudication, reaches a moderate level. On a scale of 1 to 5, walk until it hits a 3. Do not push to agony, but push to discomfort. Then stop and rest until it goes away completely. Then start again. Repeat this cycle for 30 minutes. This is not masochism, it is medicine. That pain signal creates a physical force called shear stress. This mechanical pressure signals your body that the main road is blocked. It screams at your vascular system to adapt. In response, your body releases growth factors that stimulate arteriogenesis. You will actually begin to grow new collateral vessels, natural bypasses around the blockage. You are literally building new roads to route traffic around the crash site. You are not a victim of old age. You are not destined to lose your mobility or your independence. Those shiny shins and cramping calves are simply a distress signal. They are your body begging for a change in environment. You now have the map. You know the villain is fructose. You know the mechanism is the stripped lining. And you have the protocol to rebuild it. The Teflon coating can be restored. The calcium can be moved. The blood flow can return. The warning light is flashing on your dashboard. Do not put tape over it. Fix the engine. It is time to reclaim your steps, reclaim your health, and walk away from the pain. Start today.